Hey everybody, this is Geneva of Geneva's Closet Talk Show. Please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at what? At Geneva's Closet. And you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. Now, let's get into the news. To be perfectly honest with you, I can't wait till they get done with this whole RKelly thing, or I'm waiting for them to say what exactly they're going to do. Because I don't know if at this point they really trying to get him because what he did was wrong. It's just a media thing. I don't know what's going on. But this came from TMZ yesterday, and it said RKelly's alleged sex slaves should not be in danger of going hungry or becoming homeless anytime soon. Even with the single behind bars, they claim someone's cut them off from Kelly's funding. Jocelyn Savage and Azriel Clary have built up a nice nest egg during their time with Kelly by working as his assistants, according to sources connected to the women in Kelly. They have plenty of money to hold on while he's in jail. We're told while the Kelly's living girlfriends also helped him by handling bookings and other business matters, and he paid them for it. He also gave them a weekly stipend, and they were able to save much of that cash because he paid for everything anyways. Their problem has been getting access to that money. Their attorney, Gloria Smith, tell us one of Kelly's staffers typically gives Azriel and Jocelyn cash, but she says since his arrest, the staffer's gone MIA. One thing they don't have to worry about is a roof over their heads. Our sources say Kelly's Chicago condo in Trump Tower is paid up through the end of the year, so the women can live rent-free for several months. And I guess this attorney, this Gloria Smith, is actually Jussie Smollett's attorney too. It says the vid came 3 days after Kelly was busted in Chicago on 2 new federal indictments, including charges for multiple sex crimes, racketeering, and obstruction of justice. They're talking about this video that Azriel and Jocelyn made saying that they were okay, they're not cut off, they don't know what all of this talk is in social media, they still living in the Trump Towers. It says it's no secret where they will be Tuesday. Not only will they attend Kelly's extradition hearing in a federal court in Chicago, but they are planning to hold a news conference afterwards with their attorney, Gloria Smith. Federal prosecutors have already made their case to the judge for Kelly to be held without bail once he's extradited to New York to face the second federal indictment. All the more reason why Azriel and Jocelyn's attorney says they're desperate to get access to the money Kelly paid them. Okay, now this is another article that I seen, and it's coming from Yahoo, and it says RKelly's alleged sex slaves. They keep calling them sex slaves, even though the girls make it seem like they're free to roam and do what they want to do, but they keep putting it out there as sex slaves, so whatever. Girlfriends may soon be in hot water with federal officials as all those involved in the disgraced singer's inner circle could possibly face prosecution. Sources familiar with the situation tell The Blast that Jocelyn Savage and Azriel Clary could get slapped with criminal charges, including obstruction of justice and making false statements. As the women made it clear, they are loyal defenders of Kelly. We're told when federal Homeland Security agents combed through Kelly's Trump Tower residence, Chicago residence, after his arrest, Savage and Clary were not helpful or cooperative. Why would they be? And it's supposed to be their boyfriend. The 2 women were eventually kicked out of the apartment and later allowed to return after officials had completed their search. As we reported, more indictments are expected to be filed against members of RKelly's inner circle, and sources tell us prosecutors are also targeting those who enabled and facilitated Kelly's alleged crimes. Interestingly enough, Clary and Savage have already lawyered up with Chicago-based attorney Gloria Smith. Smith is also currently representing the brother, so that's who she's an attorney for, those African brothers who Jussie Smollett said beat him. Anyway, let me finish reading. In the ongoing Jussie Smollett litigation, but has not said why she has been retained by the girlfriends. Both Jocelyn and Azriel plan on attending Tuesday's court hearing for Kelly, and Smith will be making a statement afterwards. And yeah, over the year, the 2 girls have made it clear they believe they are in a legitimate relationship with Kelly and have attacked everyone who doubts them, including their own family.
Sorry. Philippe is playing with his squeaky, so if you hear that, that's what's in the background. But we actually just read an article saying that we were evicted from the Trump, and saying that, you know, we were under emergency living and all kinds of stuff like that. We just wanted to let you guys know that that is not true. We are here. We are at the Trump. I'm going to show you guys actually our view so you guys can know it's real. It's Grammy's back there, you know, so yeah, we're here at the Trump. And, you know, Joy's parents are all over social media.
Yeah, they know where I'm at.
Yeah, we've been here at the Trump, you know, we've been here for years. We move freely, we come and go freely. We actually just left out this morning, and nobody said anything to us. You know, no one stopped us, no one, you know, harassed us or anything like that. So, we just wanted to clear that up and let you guys know that that is fake news, and do not believe everything that you hear. Other than that, we want to say thank you to all of Robert's fans. We see the support that you guys are showing him all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, everything. We see you guys going in, and we are just so thankful for the prayers, for the love, for the support, everything that you guys are saying and doing and trying to do to help him. We are just so thankful for it, and we love you guys for it. Thank you so much.
Okay, now here's the latest news coming from TMZ again, and it says R. Kelly was in court for his bond hearing, shackled at the ankles and wearing an orange jumpsuit, and will remain behind bars for the time being. Prosecutors argued against his release, saying he's a danger to the community, especially to minor girls. They claim the risk of obstruction is real and ongoing, and also heightened by his fame and power. Prosecutors are also saying he has the unique ability to influence and intimidate witnesses and victims, and that continues to this day. It's who the defendant is after alleging that he sexually assaulted the alleged victims hundreds of times. Kelly ultimately pled not guilty for his denied bond. The prosecution also argued there's no question R. Kelly is the person in the videos they've obtained, which appears to be a reference to the alleged sex tapes at the center of the probe. They're claiming that electronic monitor and home confinement is not enough for Kelly, going on to say he can entice girls to his own doorstep. Meanwhile, R. Kelly's lawyer Greenberg fired back to defend his client, saying Kelly has already surrendered his passport and noted the guy doesn't like to fly, so he's not a flight risk. Greenberg also says that, to his knowledge, Kelly didn't miss any court dates in his 2008 trial. Speaking of that, Greenberg responded to allegations that the case was rigged, saying R. Kelly faced a jury of his peers and not a bench trial. Greenberg also says that R. Kelly has voluntarily shown up to every court hearing in his current case, despite the fact that the prosecution insists he's been a flight risk. He hasn't run, and Greenberg hit the point home by saying, how could he flee? He has no money. Greenberg does note that R. Kelly Trump Tower rent is paid up through December or January. On that allegation that R. Kelly is a threat to minors to this day, Greenberg says all but one of the allegations against Kelly dates back to the 90s, and that there's no evidence that he's a risk to minors at all at this point. Greenberg also says there's no evidence of witness tampering. One more argument from Greenberg here. He says the fact that R. Kelly can't read or write would make it difficult to go over discovery with him in jail. He also says Kelly makes for a difficult prisoner because of his notoriety and implications that comes with that. The judge seemed to side with prosecutors, though, saying the child porn charge alone comes with a presumption of detention. He also ordered to be held in jail without bond. As we reported, the singer was arrested in Chicago last week on 2 federal indictments. While he'll remain locked up, we know that Kelly will have the support of his 2 alleged sex slaves, Jocelyn Savage and Azriel Clary. The women were right behind him in court, presenting a united front just like they did during his February bond hearing. Now, I'm going to just give my opinion based on my experience and what I know. People don't normally stay in an abusive relationship for an extensive amount of time unless there are already some deeper issues going on. Don't nobody do that. Whether they stay in it for 2 years or stay in it 5 or 7 years, that just lets you know how far gone they are and their strength level. Now, there are people who unknowingly get into an abusive, disrespectful relationship. You didn't even know things was going to turn out that way. And for whatever reason, you give this person the benefit of the doubt because you love them and you say, well, maybe they can change. Maybe they just going through something. Maybe I did something wrong. And you may stay in that relationship 1, 2, 3 years. And after a while of being disrespected constantly, being abused constantly, you just get sick of it. And you say, you know what, I'm done. And then you leave it. But there are some people who stay in these abusive relationships for 5, 10, 15, 20. They whole relationship, you being disrespected and abused, and they don't come from out of that. And the reason why is because there are deeper issues going on. Now, for the person that stayed in a relationship for 2, 3 years, I'm not saying that they any better. I'm just saying that somewhere they was able to pull for some strength somewhere. Pull somewhere of confidence in their self that they can get up and they can make this change, that they can move on. But whether it was 2 year, 5 year, it's still something deeper going on. I don't know if this person showed you, even in the midst of their flip-floppiness of their emotions, they showed you a certain amount of love that you felt like you had never received before, probably never even from your family, your mama, your daddy, and your siblings before. I don't know if this person validated you and made you feel like you were special and you never felt like you had validation before. I don't know if you had insecurities. I don't know if you had already been in an abusive relationship. I don't know if you had already been molested, if you had already been raped, if you had already been talked down to and disrespected and called all out of your name. The reason why you sat there and dealt with it from day one, from the first time of them putting their hands and disrespecting you, you didn't even have the strength of the mind to get up and walk out of that relationship. It is a deeper thing going on there. There's something deeper going on with these girls, and I feel like their parents are doing everybody an injustice by not keeping it real and letting us know who were these girls and what were the issues with these girls before they met Robert. And I'm not talking about the stories that they keep telling us that everything was wonderful. The household was wonderful. The parents were wonderful. The girls were wonderful. They had all these dreams and aspirations. Then Robert came along and was able to influence them and manipulate them to the point that they ain't even singing no more. Like they don't even want to sing no more. They just want to be all up under Robert. Now, let me say this. I totally get that money, just like sex, can cloud your judgment. And I think that has a lot to do with it, too. I think that they love the fact that they would rob Bud. And I think that he do have flip-floppy days where he's mean and stuff like that. And then there's days that he's nice to them. But come on now. Y'all using the bathroom in buckets. You sitting up here, y'all, this is what everybody's saying. Like, they being slapped around. They being held hostage. I mean, for God's sake, they saying the sex slaves. Is that what they said, the sex slaves? And I don't even know why they're saying that, because these girls, these grown women, seem to want to be bothered. They sitting up there holding hands and like they sister wives or something. It's all over the place. It is really all over the place. But what I want to know from the parents is, what were the signs? Because maybe you telling the signs of, well, you know what, she had been through this before, and yeah, she did have some insecurities, or I remember when this happened, I made her feel. Where did you drop the ball at? Or it has absolutely nothing to do with you parents, nothing. You just raised a strong, bright, beautiful child, and for whatever reason, she just got out there and was totally manipulated. Oh, no. I ain't going, because I've been in an abusive relationship before, and I know the reason why I was in mine is because I already had deeper issues going on. Now, thank the Lord, I only stayed in mine for 1-2 years max before I said, I don't need nobody keep putting their hands on me. I got enough whoopings as a child. I don't need it as an adult, and left out of that relationship. But I know people who are still in it, and when I talk to them and try to go deep with them, I realize that they have some things has transpired in their life that were even deeper than the things that I went through. And everyone process and handle things differently. So just because one person may get in an abusive relationship and only stay in there for a year, another person may stay in there for 6-7 years, and they could have practically went through the same things in their lives, but it's based on how people perceive it, how they deal with it, is how they're going to take it with them through their lives. And like I said, I just think that the parents is just doing everyone a disservice. Tell us what happened. So then if there are other parents out there with young girls who have probably went through something and they see some signs or something in their girls that maybe, oh, Lord, look like my daughter might be going off in that path. Maybe this is something I should work on so that they don't do this, or they look like they may be going over that way. But we don't know. You're making everything sound wonderful. How do we know? We don't. And I don't, and are these girls really sex slaves? Or is this about money? And then the parents, too. Come on now, people. Ain't we questioning the parents? Were they, like how people say, clout chasing? Because who in the hell takes their child to go see RKelly? Who takes their daughter? I would never in the history of my life ever take my 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17, 18, because I'm an adult and I will listen to Robert's music, but I'm not going to sit there with my daughters and sing about bumping and grinding and making love with my daughters. I'm not finna do that. So any parent that would sit there and take their child to go see RKelly, your brain is not even in the right place. So the problem right there. So there go problem number one. Your parents are off. So if they're off with that, then I can just imagine whatever else was sitting up there going on. And then I was reading up on Jocelyn Savage just to find out, how did she meet Robert again? So Robert met her at her parents' boutique. And then the parents believed him that he hadn't did nothing since his charges were dropped. That's so much of a bunch of malarkey. That had nothing to do with anything. I don't believe that they fully 100% down to the deep depths of their soul believed that he was okay. I believe that there was some part of them that thought that he could have maybe, but because this was Robert and they seen an ultimate opportunity for their daughter, they went along with it. Because that makes no sense. I mean, because if you didn't believe what happened back in the day with Robert and Aaliyah, I know you believe when you seen that tape that was him in that tape. We all believed it. Now, like I said, Aaliyah, we gave it the benefit of the doubt. Well, maybe they forged some papers, and I was 14 at the time. Maybe they forged some papers, but that tape, I knew it was him. And I was, like I said, 14, 15, 16, whatever at the time. So we all knew that was him. You just brushed it off because you still loved his music and was still a fan. But come on, grown parents, you don't need the judges and the lawyers to tell you that man was guilty. All you had to do was look at the dang on tape and say he was guilty. No, you kept in contact and let your daughter talk to him for your own reasons because you felt like this was the jackpot and y'all finally about to make it. Your daughter done made that contact. So anyway, it's just crazy. And if y'all watch Savannah RKelly, don't you remember the older lady that was on Savannah RKelly? When I say older, I only mean like 30-something, but she was about 30-some years old. She was the more melanated lady. And I didn't even know that Robert was messing with women that old. So anyway, she's talking and she's saying how she being treated. And don't you remember they took her to the house that Robert used to own or whatever? And she upstairs in the house, she's like, oh my God, this is bothering me so much seeing this. I remember how the walls were painted black and everything in the room was black and it was just one bed sitting in the middle and the things that he made us do. Oh my God. And I remember that there was buckets and we had to use the bathroom in the buckets. And she's saying all of this stuff and I'm listening to her. And then she gets to the part where she's like, you know what? One day I was just tired of it. I just packed my stuff, walked down the stairs and left. And I said, oh, did you really? So wait a minute. You wasn't chained down nowhere? So you wasn't chained to the bed. You didn't have to bang on the door and say, let me out, let me out. You didn't try to run and sneak out the house and then security dragged you back in. Matter of fact, you didn't even have to sneak. You just one day you decided that, you know what, I'm sick of this. You packed your stuff, walked down the stairs, and walked right out. So what the hell are y'all talking about saying that he keeping y'all as sex slaves? Is this they're being kept or is it that they want to be kept? Is Robert forcing them to stay or do they want to stay? I mean, like, what the hell is going on here? But it really is two conflicting stories, but ain't no telling what's going to happen later. Later on, these girls end up talking and be like, oh, no, he really did have us chained down. And we were just coming on camera just smiling and stuff. But really on the side of us, you don't see them. But on the sides, on both sides of us, on Jocelyn and Azriel, my side, there were guns. It was two guys with guns holding it to our heads. I mean, like, I don't know, people. Anyway, you tell me what you think about this whole thing. Really what we're waiting for is Jocelyn and Azriel to go. They supposed to be doing a press conference or something because I really want to hear what these ladies got to say because their interviews be very interesting because Azriel does all the talking. Jocelyn really doesn't say too much at all. So I'm very interested in seeing is Azriel going to be doing all the talking again and Jocelyn just going to be sitting up there nodding and shaking her head because that's really all she does. Yeah, anyway, people, tell me what you think about this whole situation. And then could you please like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at what? At Geneva's Closet. And you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. You all have a fabulous day and I will talk to you later. Bye.